IVM.
Can AI tell me if the price of Bitcoin is up or down? Can it tell me when is a good time to buy more Ethereum? The answer to both those questions is yes. AI is an amazing field that makes so many processes seamless and easy, and it can be tremendously useful to know exactly how it works. Luckily, Intel's Digital Readiness Program is here to empower everyone with skill sets, mindsets, and tool sets to use in an AI-fueled world. So you can be ready to develop AI for sports if you want to as well. The Intel AI for Youth program is an initiative that guides today's youth to an understanding of AI, how it's designed, and why it's important today. Intel's been working with the CBSE, Ministry of Education, and the Government of India to empower today's youth to build social impact solutions while demystifying what AI is. How do you take advantage of this? Purchase an Intel Core-powered PC and you get free access to 80 plus hours of immersive and hands-on training about AI. On completion of the program, along with a certificate, you get access to AI toolsets to put what you learn to good use. So, don't wait. Log on to futurebanawonderful.intel.com. Future Banaw Wonderful by bringing home an Intel-powered PC. Hi, welcome to another episode of a show about crypto. And today what I wanted to explore was what the adoption of blockchain technology in India has been like from the inception to where we are today. And who better to have on my show other than Jaynti Kanani, the co-founder and CEO of Polygon. Hi, thank you so much for being here. First of all, for those who might not know Jaynti, please tell us about Polygon.
First of all, Rohan, thank you for having me. About Polygon. So Polygon is basically scaling solutions for blockchain, particularly Ethereum. So if you see Ethereum blockchain, you can make a transfer, create NFTs on Ethereum blockchain, and it takes a while, plus takes $100 fees for each transfer NFT minting. What we do at Polygon is that kind of scale that blockchain and make it cheaper for everyone to use. So if you make a transaction on Polygon network, it takes 2 to 4 seconds for your transaction to confirm. And it takes around $0.004 to send a transaction, right? So it's a very cheap and very fast compared to Ethereum blockchain. So this is what we do. We make sure our user experience for the users who are using blockchain, who are using new applications on the blockchain, they are don't have to spend a lot of amount of fees and wait for a huge. It is you can say UPI on top of banks in some sense. If you do the NEFT transfers so bank to bank, it takes a lot of time. Mm-hmm. But UPI is just instant, right? So you can say that we do faster layer on top of blockchains. Yeah.
That's a great analogy. Thank you so much for that. That really clears it up in my head. So while I do want to talk about the adoption of blockchain in India and where we are, I'd like to start with your story, actually, because you're one of the pioneers. So tell us about your journey in blockchain with Polygon and where'd that start from?
Yeah, I mean, in 2017, I was in housing.com. I was a data scientist there and helping real estate startup, this housing.com. And then I was also very passionate about my side projects at the time. And I was creating one side project called Game of Theories. It's basically similar to Game of Thrones, where you can, after each episode of Game of Thrones, you can go on the platform and create your own theories. Okay, hey, this character will die, or this will happen. The story will, how the story will pan out in the next episode.
Very cool.
And people can and people can just go and bet on the each stories. And if you're right, you get the money. Something like that. I'm just
you turned it into a betting pool. That's awesome. You turned internet theories into a betting pool. You, sir, can monetize anything.
So I was doing that, and then I wanted to integrate a simple payment system. Right? There was a Razorpay, Paytm, Stripe was there, PayPal was there. But I didn't want to register an entity for the business, right? It was a side project, so I didn't want to get into the legal issues. So what I did is I thought this is a platform called Bitcoin. there's some currency people are talking about Bitcoin, and people are saying, oh, this is the future of currencies. So let's use that, right? And so I kind of started exploring Bitcoin, and then after some time, like I realized, okay, there is another platform called Ethereum as well, and then started exploring, went deep into the ecosystem and realized, okay, this is the big problem of scaling here in the ecosystem. It still take a lot of time and fees for the transfers, transactions on the blockchain. So this is not going to work because if you want to kind of create a new technology, you create technology which can be kind of usable by all the people in the world, right? So yeah, that's how I kind of started the crypto journey. Like I started exploring. I thought like, this is the good opportunity to me to create something in this space. There were few competitions at the time, but they were all doing something different than I was kind of thinking. So I thought let me create it my own scaling solution.
Sure.
And that's how I started Polygon-Matic. Yeah.
You had a much better ending to that story than Game of Thrones did. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So to come to your story, I assume that there are other stories like yours. So what I'm curious about is we've seen examples and cases made for the adoption of blockchain all around the world. What I want to understand is what have some of these stories been in India? What has blockchain adoption been like in India? I'm talking all the way from 2010, 11 onwards to where we are today. Have we seen adoption? Have we seen people start to play with what the potential of blockchain could be?
So I think I'm not sure about between 2010 to 15 or 17. I would say when I started, I've seen few exchanges like Zeppe was there, other kind of exchanges were there, but not at a level where people are doing something at protocol level or blockchain level.
Right.
They were just kind of creating exchanges, so you can just go and trade and make money. So apart, like as far as I know, like there was no product side of innovations apart from exchanges, right? 2017, like we started with Matic and some other projects were also there, but they didn't pan out. But we kind of kept going and going. And yeah, I think I had to say that we are the first protocol level blockchain product out of India, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
We also kind of got funded by Coinbase and Binance both first time in India. So that was also
congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. And then kind of we after us people started creating the other than exchanges, to be honest, right? So we can see now Instant App, EPNS, like many other products, DeFi protocols are coming, NFTs product are coming now. So yeah, I mean I would say after 2017 the growth in India for the crypto specifically has increased for sure. There could be multiple reasons, to be honest. One could be the crypto hype. After 2017, a boom. Like everyone knew about the crypto and everything right now. So people started investing more and more in crypto.
Right.
So money become very cheap for the people who are creating something new. Right.
Sure.
Investment kind of so I think that would be the one of the reasons that after 2017 or 18 or 19, I would say, India, you can see many good projects out of India. Yeah.
Sure. So on one side, there's the hype, which obviously is going to get people interested and attracted to this new field. But what other forces have driven adoption since 2017? Like I'm trying to understand where, aside from that hype, what else has led to adoption of crypto? What's led to people look at this, to people in India looking at this technology and going, we see some value in it. So what I'm trying to understand is does that reflect a lack of faith in, say, existing markets? Would something like, say, a demonetization or going digital overall then start impacting that or start driving that adoption?
Yeah, I mean, I would compare this with the early internet days, to be honest. If you ask someone to, okay, hey, what you would need before internet was there, people won't say, okay, I need internet. I can easy access to my mails, mobile phone, etc.
Okay, fair.
So before 2007, to be honest, like no, there was no iPhone and everything. Like people just using their keypad and the BlackBerry, etc. But after iPhone, like the actual narrative has changed and people mindset has changed. Right now, like there is a better way to perform some tasks than before. You can. So I think with blockchain, there is I would say there is a hope for better financial system for sure.
Okay.
After blockchain, you can see like people have create a product which is decentralized and very much kind of you don't have to trust anyone in the system.
Sure.
And it can be global from day one without any borders and without any problems. So I think that has changed. So now let's say if you, for example, let's say if I'm sending money or maybe USDC from, let's say, one country to another country using the blockchain, and then if you ask me to use wire transfer, which takes like 2-3 days, I would always say, okay, hey, why should I use the wire transfer where I can just use blockchain and send transactions in 4 seconds or 2 seconds, right? So I think this the thinking process has changed. Like now like you are doing a UPI, Paytm, and multiple other things like WhatsApp, right? You are not using kind of emails now. So those things have changed using the blockchain. So now the things which you cannot do earlier, now you can do much more easier, right? I'll give you a few examples. Is that for example, let's say if you want to create some financial protocols on the fintech, right? You need to take permission from the banks, from RBI, from governments, etc. And you also need to provide information on your team, your background, your kind of credentials, like multiple things. You should have a white hairs, those kind of things, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's an actual phrase that I've heard said in corporate India, where if you can get some white hairs for the banks to trust them, is what I was told once. And
let's say if I go to banks for the banking license or something approval, they say, okay, hey, this guy is in t-shirt is coming here and asking for this approval. Like, who the hell is this guy, right? So
अपने visa application के लिए money order के लिए आया होगा. This is what they'll think. Like when they see a young person at the bank.
Right. But now, like you can see 13 years old, 20 years old, the kids are creating DeFi protocols, right?
Like RoboCages.
Right? Yeah, RoboCages, right? So you don't need any permission to create something innovative, you know what I'm saying? So I think this has changed and this is very revolutionary. The good ideas can come from anyone. It could be 30 years old or 5 years old, anyone, right? So, I think this has changed and this also creates a new path for innovations globally, right? So you see India, right? India missed the internet boom, to be honest, right? Like you can't see like Google or Apple out of India, but crypto is a second I would say way to you like
it's a level playing field right now. It's a level playing field right now.
Yeah, I mean, you any protocol out of India or anywhere in the world could be the global product from day one on the blockchain, right? So, for example, if you think about the Polygon, right, it's a global product from day one. Anyone in the world, anyone from the world can deploy anything on Polygon. That's a very powerful. Yeah,
that is very powerful. That's the idea of day one access. I think people really underrate how important it is. The idea of global day one access to a product in this day and age, especially. To carry on that same line of thought, while there is the global aspect of it, if we were thinking from a more Indian perspective, if I was thinking from, say, the public sector or social sector perspective, what areas do you think, current traditionally managed areas, do you think could benefit or could be, say, revolutionized by the addition of blockchain technology? Like, does that transform fundamentally how we record keep? Does that fundamentally transform all of those things?
Definitely. I mean, there are a few things I want to mention. Is that one example is that COVID reports, right? So Maharashtra government did the COVID reports on the on Polygon blockchain, so you can verify your COVID test on the blockchain, right? So you cannot fake it basically. So this is one good example, I would say. But the second example would be the fintech financial system, right? So currently, like in the whole financial system, there are multiple people in between taking the cuts. So if you send it a wire transfer from, for example, India to US, like it will take 2-3 days plus multiple forms. Bank will send you email, okay, hey, you are getting this money. Are you sure you are getting this? What is your exchange rate you want? There are multiple things, in between, and takes a time, etc. But now with this blockchain, you can solve all the things in between, right? You can define rules for the money, right? You can create for example, if else conditions, okay, hey, if this happens, then money goes to this guy, otherwise it goes to this guy, right? Those kind of rules you can create on the blockchain, which is not possible, to be honest, on the normal financial world. It's possible, but it's a legacy system. It takes a lot of time to change those things, right? With blockchain, you can do that easily. The second thing nowadays is very popular is NFTs, right? So let's say if you are creating digital art, it's very hard to prove ownership, for example, right? If you want to sell the digital art to outside India, let's say if you are Indian-based artist, if you want to sell something outside India, there is very less ways to do that, right? But now, like with blockchain, you can tell anyone in the world, just click of the button, right? And receive the money for that, right? Plus that person who actually got the NFT or digital art, they can also resell that, and then the original author can get the cut out of that commission, right? So those kind of things you can easily do on the blockchain right now. And of course, there are identity platforms, KYCs, and global storage you can use on the blockchain. There are hundred thousands of use cases for the blockchains right now.
Who do you think is going to lead this adoption? Is it going to come sort of from a small retail user perspective, or are we going to again look at a thing where it's going to be institutional investors that are going to push this forward? Because I feel like with a decentralized network, for the first time, we genuinely have the opportunity for it to be the other way around. But is that going to happen, or are we going to?
Yeah, this is a great question. So I will answer in two parts. So one part is the investment part, right? So before blockchain, for normal user to put money into some risky assets is not allowed basically from regulation, right? So it's very like they say, okay, hey, you can't invest in these assets because you are not wealthy, to be honest, right? Or you are not capable enough to think your own risk.
Right.
With blockchain, this has changed, right? For the retail users and for the institutions, both. Now I'm seeing multiple people investing wisely, sometimes taking the risk, they understand the risk. Sometimes people, there are both kind of people. There are foolish people, there are smart people. So I'm not talking about the foolish people.
It's okay, Jaynti. You can say it. People invest in shitcoins for no reason, and it's stupid, and they shouldn't just do that and get carried away. You can say that. This is a safe space. You can say those things.
But I mean the people who understand the space, they can also they are allowed to invest in tokens, right? And then they are getting good money out of that. So that's a good thing, and they are making good money. I'm seeing that in the space. This opportunity is the same for everyone, to be honest, right? Like normal user, even if you have 10 rupees, even if you have millions, or you are institutional investor, right? So everyone has the same risk appetite, can do the same return out of this system. This is not the case with the normal financial system, by the way, right? There are many rules applied to every different categories. Of course, like they have their different regulations. I won't go into details. And the second part is that the accessibility, right? Like product is live, maybe the DeFi product, then anyone who has a tokens can participate into maybe yield farming or in the DeFi protocol, same way. It can be institutions or retailers, right? So I'm seeing these adoptions go through the end-to-end, like, it will be part of the retailers, obviously institutions, because without institutions, it won't be like that big in terms of the money and the value-wise. So I'm seeing, there are some protocols, blockchain protocols, where you can see retailers are coming before the institutions, and there are
Sure.
some protocols when the institutions come first and then retailers are coming. So I think on the adoption side, crypto side, both are necessary. But yeah, definitely retailers users are kind of on top. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a very short break now on a show about crypto. And when we're back on the other side, we will continue this very illuminating conversation with Jaynti Kanani. See you on the other side.
Namaste, this is Cyrus Brocha. I am part of the government cancel culture program to remove rubbish off all the different streams available. So what we have is all the collected rubbish we put together on our show. It's called Cyrus Says. It's on IVM podcast. You have to watch it and listen to it. It's on our app. It's on our website. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on Facebook. There are many different ways. Don't bother me and ask me how. You have to find out. We talk to different personalities. Many of them are known. Some are just people we meet downstairs and invite them up for chai. But the point is, it's fun and it's very therapeutic. So please join in and listen to Cyrus Says.
We are back on a show about crypto where we are in conversation with Jaynti Kanani about the adoption of blockchain tech in India and where we can go from now. So there's one aspect of crypto, which is I invest in it and now I'm part of it. There's the other aspect of it. If, like you mentioned, this is a community, this is a family. So if I want to get involved in the crypto community as something that's not just an investor or not just putting my money down for returns, what ways can I do that in a place like India today?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give few examples, right? So one of the example would be the participate in the DAOs, right? So currently there are trend going on in crypto space. It's called decentralized autonomous.
I would just like to pause here for a second and say, listeners, if you don't know what DAOs are, you can go back a few episodes to our entire episode on decentralized autonomous organizations, aka DAOs. Sorry, I had to do that plug. It had to be done.
No worries. So in DAO, you can participate in DAOs and learn about like decision makings, how decision making is done in protocol, help community to teach about how protocol is working depending on the DAO, right? So one thing is that, and there are other ways you can participate. Is that one is a community management. This is very easy to enter space, I would say, where you you start managing some communities and learn about like how communities behaving in crypto space, what they want, how protocol is working, which those kind of stuff. So this is the easiest way to get into crypto, right? You don't need any kind of background course or anything at all. You don't have to be in tech for that, right? So this is a very much easiest thing to go into crypto, right? The second thing is that there are multiple things. Let's say if you are in maybe equity research, for example, in traditional finance system, you can always jump into crypto and see like how similar theories can be applied here in crypto, right? So you don't need to be in tech. So most of the time, like people are not, if you see on the Twitter, most people are not tech people, to be honest.
Right.
They are non-tech guys coming in crypto, learning about cryptos, how it works, how they can contribute in DAOs, in communities, and creating new products, those kind of stuff. So you always, so once you are here, you just learn and then you will know how to start and contributing to DAOs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, there we go. Now our listeners know that if investment is not necessarily what you're looking at, but full on just leaping into the community at a ground level, these are all things that you can do. Now we come to the real crux of the matter, right? If we want adoption in a meaningful way, I mean, we've already seen this with the internet and with UPI and with going digital, where the idea is if you want everybody to be digital, you'd better make sure that basics are covered, like in terms of there's network everywhere. There is, more importantly, data network access everywhere. You have to set specifications. Like we've only recently just set a new set of standards for what constitutes broadband internet in India and what that minimum has to be, right? So in that sense, so the follow-up here is now to move into this blockchain future. what upgrades do we need to make to our national tech infrastructure to have a serious shot at this?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to do at the national level, to be honest, because as you can as you say, right? People there are stupid people in the countries everywhere. Uh, so also need to think about them, like they don't kind of get bound with the regulations and everything. So I think what I'm thinking is that we should definitely adopt blockchain as much as possible, and as kind of let's say if for a financial system, we definitely should use the blockchains most of the time to kind of reduce the problems at multiple levels. And on the investing side, definitely regulations should come into the picture to kind of protect people at every stage. But yeah, definitely it should be kind of little bit open to at personal level, not at the national level, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's up to the government and the regulations how they are thinking on the same. But I think on the tech side, I would say this blockchain tech is so revolutionary. Everyone in the country, everyone in the world should kind of check the potential of that without kind of not considering the crypto for a while, and
Sure.
and see how we can use the blockchain plus crypto again to benefit the nations and kind of lead in the world. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Now I'm looking at some stats according to the crypto industry in India report, which says that the crypto tech market in India has the potential to create over 800,000 jobs and an economic value add-on of 184 billion by 2030. Now, what I want to know about those numbers from your perspective is, are those optimistic? Are those conservative? Or do you genuinely see that this is a direction that we could go in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm basically very optimistic about the whole kind of blockchain. I'm hoping government should take a good stance on the blockchain and the crypto, and then it will increase a lot of jobs out of India. So in COVID plus blockchain, right?
Sorry, I just lost
Indian,
your audio there entirely for a second. Sorry, we just lost you there entirely. Could you just repeat the last two sentences?
Yeah. Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying kind of the COVID and blockchain did a good thing for India because everyone in the world going remote, every company, right? And India has a good talent, right? And people are kind of hiring remotely out of India. So I'm definitely seeing the numbers which you predicted on the since to 2030. It's very less, to be honest. It should be more than that.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with for example, for the blockchain industry, it will also create new jobs. Right. So these predictions is basically you are thinking about just the numbers which the tech we have in mind, but we are not thinking in the future, right? Blockchain, the metaverse, and VR, etc. Right. So,
like when the smartphone was invented, they thought about all the jobs, but nobody could have imagined that TikTokers would be a whole separate profession. So we haven't even factored that. Exactly. It is right. Exactly. It's basically that,
exactly. Right? Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a very, very optimistic note to end on. Now, I have on a personal note, I have one last question. Please tell us about Vitalik's contribution also to Polygon. I just want to understand, it was such a great example of just the community coming together. So I'd just like to understand what that was like and to hear it in your own words.
Yeah, I mean, So it was not directly to the Polygon, to be honest. So Sandeep, my co-founder, started this crypto relief fund for the crypto. Few months back, India was very in tough spot in terms of COVID, and then Sandeep started this crypto fund where people can donate from everywhere in the world using crypto, and then it can be deployed. The money can be deployed on the India specifically,
Right.
at lower stages, right? So what Vitalik did is kind of send $1 billion worth of crypto to that fund, right? To be honest, people seeing this is a huge move, and it is a huge move, but people don't see the unity in the crypto world, crypto community, at this kind of. So to be honest, if you go in the crypto Twitter, you feel like everyone is a one state, one nation, and kind of doing like good morning messages everywhere, those kind of thing. Like there is no border, to be honest, in crypto Twitter. So it is very very kind of welcoming feeling you get from the crypto Twitter and the crypto community in general. So yeah, I mean, I see like Vitalik is very good in crypto space by founding Ethereum, creating multiple research papers and the Ethereum 2.0 research on ETH research, etc. And multiple others individuals in crypto are doing the same and pushing the boundaries forward. Yeah, I think this is a great example where you can see like the whole crypto community is a family.
That's true. It is like a family. That's very, very true. And on that warm, fuzzy note, I'd like to say thank you so much, Jaynti Kanani, for being on the show. This has been a very, very fun chat. And I hope all your optimistic predictions about the future of crypto in India come true. And I wish you all the very, very best for it. Thank you so much. This has been a show about crypto. And we will see you next week with another episode of Believe It or Not, a show about crypto.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcasting Network. On Know Your Kano, Number talks to Anshula Kapoor about her social celebrity charity Fankind, the ideology of the charity, and the various regulations behind this concept. On 30-Minute Rasta with Keshav, meet three of the most breathtaking gompas that are situated near Leh. On Shunyuvan, Chilit and I talk to Giridhar Yasa, Chief Technology Officer at Lending Card. On Say No to Drama, Chitna unravels the law of attraction and the spirituality surrounding it. And on the Life Manifesto, Zarina explains what it takes to be courageous with an interesting Spartan ideology from ancient history. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you enjoyed this show, or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. We appreciate the word of mouth. And finally, we'd like to thank the sponsors on our network this week: Cred, Bank of Baroda Quarter, CoinSwitch Kuber, Slay Coffee, Intel, and Kotak Mahindra Bank. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.